our breakdown of the biggest NBA day of the year outside the playoffs. NBA Christmas Day Spectacular, 5 games, folks. You're opening your presents early squirrely, and then you've got 5 games running from noon to midnight, showcasing the best of the best of, is it? The best of the league in front of millions and millions of fans outside of areas of China where the NBA is banned. So what we're going to do today is not just break down those games, because that's kind of boring. We're going to evaluate how well Adam Silver and the league, how well they did at deciding what to schedule, how lit the games were, the state of the teams in that match, because this is supposed to be the best of the best. No scrubs. We don't want no scrubs. A scrub is a team that can't get no love from me, right? Sitting outside of the pad. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, probably people on TikTok don't. So we're going to use Christmas NBA as a way to not just gauge the state of the league, but to also see what might come for these 10 teams. So let's start with what I call the Disappointment Bowl. Hawks Knicks. When the NBA, so Hawks lost a lot to the Knicks, 101-87. Who cares? Pillow fight in the Garden. When the NBA scheduled this game for Christmas Day, they imagined a rematch of Trae Young. Ice cold, shushing the Garden, maybe some spit being thrown at him, expletives, racist words. Who knows? Maybe referees falling down on their ass, like excitement. You've got a rematch. You've got new tension, a new, I would call it a new rivalry. And they imagine Kevin Huerter turning into Kayvon Huerter. Trae to Collins lob. Trae fake lob to Collins floater. 3 after 3 after 3. Offense after offense. Pick and roll. Just nasty. You've got you're imagining Julius Randle, Derrick Rose. And then they got a Hawks team with no Trae Young, ravaged by COVID and injuries. Hawks offense scored what we were expecting to score, 35, 40 in a quarter. They scored 15 in one quarter against a Knicks team without Derrick Rose, with Kemba Walker being forced into use after being benched by Tibbs, but he had no other options. Julius Randle, who's been largely terrible all year, just chucking and chucking and chucking some more, to the point where I'm getting texts from friends being like, hey, do you think Julius Randle shoots too much? Just randomly Christmas Day texts. That's what I'm getting. So what the NBA got were 2 below 500 teams. 2 below 500 teams instead of the 2 top seeds, what we thought maybe with a 4 and the 5 seed again. I mean, these are gross teams. These are gross teams. This is probably the worst matchup in hindsight. Like, if we were to reschedule, this would not be on the Christmas slate. You're talking about a 10 seed and 12 seed? No, thank you. PU. Yuck. Disappointing, underachieving, injury-riddled, COVID-ravaged. Terrible. And I guess I'm wondering, after I watch that, like, can these teams really turn it around? Knicks were a 4 seed last year, and the Hawks were a couple of games and a referee conspiracy injury away from Trae going to the NBA Finals. And now we saw a battle between teams that, like, I don't know what they are or when they're going to get back. And it's weird. It's, like, safe to say that's not the way that the NBA envisioned it getting kicked off. I mean, and then Kith, this is how you know it was a whole thing. Kith, the fashion brand, had a whole Knicks-Kith collaboration rollout that came out an hour before tip. So, you know it was supposed to be a thing, and it's like, you've got Kith who normally sells out. They can't get rid of those fucking sweatshirts. They're still there on the website right now. And they're usually selling fast. They're on StockX before you know it. No, like, I think a lot of people thought this game would be dope, and it was not dope at all. And then remember that Christmas under theory. The NBA always goes under because people don't play as hard on Christmas Day because they miss their family and they're begrudgingly there. This was the only game on the slate that went under. So going forward, I'm pretty optimistic about the Hawks compared to the Knicks because, I mean, they have everybody there. The same guys. If they're capable of doing what they did last year, they're capable of doing it again. It's just a matter of chemistry. It's a matter of injuries. It's a matter of COVID. Hopefully they get COVID enough that they, by the playoffs, are fine. Like, I just want them to get COVID 2-3 times so that by April, we're good to go. And then the Knicks, I mean, they're mostly healthy. They had almost everybody there, except for Emmanuel Quickly and maybe one other guy that I don't even remember, so he's not that significant. They have significantly regressed. R.J. Barrett is not. He was supposed to take steps up past where he was last year, which was pretty good, and now he's taken another step back. Not great. His three-pointers are down. Julius Randle, after the big extension, his numbers are down. Quentin Grimes, he's a nice find. Like, he's probably the bright spot. He's a wing that can defend. He can put up points. He can assist. He had, I want to say, five steals, 5 rebounds, 5 assists off the bench. But I don't know if he's going to make this team significantly better. They signed Evan Fournier. I mean, what do you want? Can they find a way to make Kemba fit and play defense? Probably not. I mean, without a major move at the deadline, the Knicks are a flash-in-the-pan. Nice little story that I had to say to my friend when they said, hey, do you think Tibbs is going to get fired after the season? I had to say, please don't say that. No, don't, because it's a possibility, and that breaks my heart for Tibbs. This is supposed to be his last stop. He was supposed to get the Boston Celtics job because he largely built the house that was the dynasty of the Celtics that got ravaged by LeBron. But, that's him. He was supposed to get that job and not Brad Stevens, right? And no, he doesn't get the job. And so, and maybe he would have gotten the job again if it wasn't for the success that he had on the Knicks when they hired Ime Udoka. It just hasn't been great for Tibbs. The timing for him has been awful. And now it's unclear as to whether his longevity will be there. I mean, but it's really not his fault. Because Leon Rose and Worldwide West are the ones that got rid of Reggie Block and brought in Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier is not very good. Evan Fournier is basically more of how I would describe him. At least we knew one thing was certain. The disappointment bowl did deliver. The only under and more disappointment, and you've got the Knicks winning one of their first games out of the last 10. So, congratulations to you, Knicks. Congratulations. As you can tell, I'm not excited about that matchup whatsoever. Celtics 113 to Bucks 117. I mean, the Celtics are trash. They probably shouldn't have even been considered in this day. If out of the 10 teams playing on Christmas Day, the only one not deserving to even be in the conversation is the Celtics. It should have absolutely been Embiid and the Sixers versus the Bucks instead of a sub-500 9 seed in Boston. I think Adam Silver was kidding himself to think that the Celtics would turn things around with an Ime Udoka and a Dennis Schroeder and who else they had? The Josh Richardson? I don't know. Not anybody that I can think that was going to move the needle. They got rid of their only fun piece in Taco Fall. He's gone. He was a nice little thing to look forward to seeing here and there in splashes and spurts. He's now in the starting rotation in Cleveland. And I tell you what, props to Taco Fall, I don't know what he was thinking, basically. Adam Silver could not have actually believed this was going to be a 3 or 4 seed in the East. But, he had to have if that's why he put him there. A lot of star power. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Robert Williams, and no one else. Boston fans are probably so delusional that they'll be the ones that will watch actively. It was in TD Garden as well, which made it even more sus to me. There's even more sus. So, yeah, more of the same, as it turns out. Typical Boston game. They got out early. You're thinking, oh, my God, is this a good team? And then they just choked on their meat, late. They did. That's what they did. 15-point first half lead, Bucks 47 points, and then they pissed away the entire lead, ending up scoring 19 points only in the fourth quarter, and they lose by 4. And it was sort of dramatic at the end, but not really. They had a 113-111 lead with a minute left, and then they just didn't score again. They just didn't score again. That's them. It's the Bucks, though. They should get credit for this gritty win. With the possible exception of KD, I don't know that anyone plays in bigger games and gets up more for them than Giannis. What you saw from Giannis in the finals And it was nothing short of a transformation. Like, that's what it was. He turned himself into a 90% free throw shooter with some knee injury that I don't know if it was real or not. But anyway, like, he transformed him into a point guard free throw shooter overnight. And that's him. He's got ice water in his veins. He put up 36, 12, and 5. He had a huge block on Robert Williams with 12 seconds left on the clock, putting the entire team on his back, showing that, okay, we are still very, very good when we need to be, which is on nationally televised games that everyone is watching and in the playoffs. Outside of that, not really sure what you're going to get from them, but that's what the NBA wanted. So not like a horrible game to schedule when it goes down to the wire, but even Adam Silver had to have known that the Boston were going to puke on their own shoes. Like, they had to have. With given enough, like, advance notice, hey, this is what you do, Boston. Just, like, look great and then puke. Yeah, they choked it away. If folks that are fans of the Boston Celtics don't know this by now, well, this was an opportunity in front of millions upon millions upon millions of fans, nationally audience, like, everyone's watching. There's nothing else open. You can't even get coffee anywhere. It's just you and your family on a little, like, cold afternoon day watching the Celtics choke on their own meat. Like, that's it. What am I going to do to predict the Celtics? Nothing. Like, I'm not going to. It's going to be the same. Unless they trade Jaylen Brown, this team is garbage. I don't know. Like, you got to trade Marcus Smart. Can't have him be the point guard. This team is not good. They've never been good. They had one little nice run in which other teams choked. So this year is a wash. As for the Bucks, they're going to the finals. That's what I know. Dante DiVincenzo's coming back. Brook Lopez, the new news is that Brook Lopez will be back well before the playoffs. So Brook Lopez coming back already had back surgery. He's coming back well before the playoffs. You got Dante DiVincenzo back. He didn't even play outside of the first round last year. You've got a dog in Grayson Allen. He's there. You got multiple new pieces. Wes Matthews contributing. This team is easily the best in the East. I don't think it's close. I don't care what you say about the Nets. That's just what it is. And, like, they're going to skate through. This is going to go be a skate through. And with the Hawks being a disappointment, I think the only team that really will give them fits is the Cavs. I think the team that's going to really give them fits is the Cavs. No, I know. This team is 100% finals bound unless me saying it mushes them. Warriors 116, Suns 107. I mean, we got lucky. I don't know that Adam Silver knew that this was going to be as good as it was, because there's just no chance that he thought that the Warriors would be a 1 or a 2 seed in the West, and that without Klay Thompson, that they would be just demolishing everyone, just like a buzzsaw through the rest of the league. Like, this is the matchup everyone wanted, and didn't even know that they wanted. Like, we all now on Twitter, hey, I need 7 of this, 7 of this, 7 of this. Like, I need this to be the Western Conference Finals. That's what it is. Adam Silver pulled this matchup out of his ass, let's be honest. It's Steph, and at that point, plumbers, right? At that point, it's Steph, Draymond, and, like, Otto Porter. You think that's a good idea? You think that's a good move? Otto Porter fucking balled. Like, wasn't even a rivalry game. These two teams didn't even play at all in the playoffs last year. Like, it would have made more sense if it was Lakers-Warriors, which is what they did in the opening game. Or if it was Warriors-Grizzlies. I mean, you'd have to put the Suns in there somewhere. But, like, maybe it's Suns-Bucks. And then you've got Warriors-Grizzlies instead as, like, a little, like, up-and-comer thing. But this made sense, even though at the time when the matchup was scheduled, it didn't make no damn sense. And boy, was it a home run. I tell you what, like, these teams have played 3 times in the span of a month, and none of them were disappointments. Like, they're getting up for all of them. It has the intensity of a playoff game. The first game, probably the best regular season game I've seen in a very long time. I literally brought bags and bags of popcorn to watch it. Coaches making changes, alterations, chess match happening in game. You've got literally guys going to zone in the middle of the game. Like, you just don't see this. So, and then also, by the way, probably the reason that the Warriors ended up destroying the Suns on Christmas Day was because they were low-key, actually high-key pissed that they didn't get to play at home. They're like, this is the second game in a row now that we've played Christmas Day on the road. And this is our 9th Christmas Day game in a row. Can we get a home game or no? And they're like, yeah, but the Suns were in the finals and you were not. You were not in the playoffs. So fuck off. Like, the last 2 years, you guys have been blipped. Like, you guys, like in the Marvel land, Thanos snapped his fingers, did the rock thing, and you guys were just nowhere. Like, you were not a team that existed in the standings. And so you come back, prove yourself, maybe we'll give you a home game next year. And that's what happened. This is what Kerr said. It's an honor to play on Christmas. It's a showcase, and everybody's watching. But I do think there should be a rule that you can't be on the road 2 years in a row. Just making it clear. Last year we were in Milwaukee, and this year we're in Phoenix. Doesn't seem right. I would imagine. Draymond said, well, hey, I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old and a 1-year-old. I'd like to spend some time at home with my kids, too. We're not playing against the defending champion. Oh, my God, shade. They did go to the playoffs, or they did go to the finals. If we're playing against the defending champion, you understand it. But we're not. Woo. It's a bit frustrating. I have to go on the road a second year in a row, so now I miss my daughter's first Christmas, and I miss her second one. It's kind of fucked up. But that's the reality. That's what we're faced with. You have to do your job, but we're human beings. So like I said, I missed her first one. I'll miss her second one. I can't explain that to her. So it sucks. We're not robots. We're not machines. We're actual human beings with actual feelings and with actual families. Draymond Green was hot. Hot. And so even without Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Damian Lee, Andre Iguodala, Moses Moody, who cares? And of course, Clay, I wrote down on my notes, Moses Moody, parentheses, who cares? I just wanted everyone to know for the record, who cares? Honestly, he was out, but that is not meaningful. And then they were 6-point dogs. 6-point dogs on the road, and they blew the Suns out in Phoenix without anyone. Otto Porter, folks, who I call a non-factor lovingly, had 19.6 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Jesus Christ, Otto Porter on a minimum deal, playing like a fucking all-star. Like he used to be before he got hurt when he was a Washington Wizard. I had people in my mentions. This is so funny. This is how well the Warriors played. I had people in my mentions that cover the Warriors that said this isn't really much of a rivalry in the playoffs. It will be Golden State in 4. Like, that's how bad the Warriors destroyed the Suns on Christmas Day, is now they don't even think it's a real rivalry. They don't even think they should bless the Phoenix Suns with a 7-game series. Like, legendary? How could you even say this was legendary? We didn't have anyone, and we fucking pounded them with all of their stars playing. That's what you're high as fuck, Warriors fans. Like, if you don't think Monty Williams is going to go in and play chess, and also, it begs the question, like, did the Suns just say, we're only going to put all of our vanilla stuff out? We know we're going to play them in the playoffs. Why would we blitz Steph? Why would we show what we want to do to Steph when we play them in the playoffs? Why would we want to give them anything other than just normal go out and play scrimmage, regular season hoop? We've already beat them once, and they beat us without Book. We beat them without Book in the first game. They beat us without Book second game. Third game, that is what it is. Like, why roll out all of the stops if you know you're going to play this team 7 games? Otherwise, then Steve Kerr just knows what you're up to. So, that's so much fun. 2 of the best 3 teams in the league outside of the Bucks. And I think it showed that the Warriors are a fucking wagon. Truthfully, without all their guys, it doesn't matter what you showed, what you didn't show. You got your ass handed to you at home with a bunch of scrubs like Otto Porter. Like, it is what it is. Like, I can make excuses up for them, but they just couldn't get it done. And something tells me that this is not the last time we're going to see this game in primetime on Christmas Day. I think this is going to be a year after year after year thing.